frequenting the so-called Green Mile in Port Hueneme will give the lounge a try.
In Amsterdam, all the people walk in and it's like a bar with just weed being smoked. So hopefully soon it will be that like that too.
And like much of his staff, the banker turned owner never imagined himself here.
For me, never in my wildest dreams because I never considered it. Now, cheers.
The city of Port Hueneme stands to make about $50,000 in tax revenue from this lounge alone in its first year.
New tonight, we're clearing the air on Virginia's new hemp law. State lawmakers have made strides in recent years to set up a cannabis framework in the Commonwealth, establishing home cultivation guidelines, sharing rules, and more.
At the same time, cannabis alternatives have risen in popularity, and so has the attention paid by state lawmakers. Alex Littlehales reports on new changes in effect as of this weekend.
If there is one thing Jay Lilly knows how to do, it's knowing how to roll with changes.
Family works, 100-year working family farm. I would say that I would be a first-generation cannabis farmer.
Lilly isn't alone in Virginia's emerging cannabis and hemp industry. He's one of many navigating new regulations impacting storefronts around the corner from you.
Starting 6 months ago, I had to foresee the change.
As of this weekend, Virginia's new hemp laws are in effect.
The bill passed by Virginia's split lawmaking body and amended by Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin aims to cut access to unsafe products to the general public. It imposes limits on the amount of THC per product, which is the psychoactive element of marijuana producing a high sensation. In this case, though, we're talking about hemp products, which is a cannabis plant byproduct containing less than 0.3% THC. Hemp products must now have a 25 to 1 part CBD to THC ratio to be legal, or contain less than 2 milligrams of THC per package. Producing or even selling any hemp products outside these restrictions could result in a civil fine of $10,000. As of Saturday, it's now unlawful to sell all synthetic forms of THC too, sometimes found in cannabis alternatives in what's known as Delta 8.
Well, I'll get Delta 8 as an example. You really take, the hemp flower and spray it like an acid solution, and people were not purging it properly. So that's why all the people were getting sick and all this. People, without regulations, people were just trying it themselves. That's the problem.
Twins and hemp farmers Julian and Jonathan Redcross believe in the idea of regulations, but think the newly enacted ones are an overreach, hurting the industry.
You have these certain set of laboratories that you have to get compliance from testing, and that would definitely regulate.
CBD shops are now taking large stocks of inventory off their shelves.
I would say about a quarter of the store right here is hemp derived. That's what I'm gonna do with my product. I'm pulling off the shelf and then going down to North Carolina and trying to sell it to another business there.
And producers like Lilly are restructuring their products to fall within the lines of the law.
Some of the formulations of our products had to change to meet current laws of the 25 to 1 ratio. Since we've added, in some of our products, we've added more CBG. It's a cannabinoid that doesn't hold as high of a THC content.
This year, 13 News Now reported 247 edible-related calls in 2022 to this area's Poison Control Center over ingested edibles, 88 of which among kids under 6 years old. The new laws intend to cut down these cases, meaning producers and retailers must learn to fall in line or be pushed out.
The hats that we wear, that we have to read the laws. We got to understand where it is.
Alex Littlehales for 13 News Now.
The new laws also establish a need for child-resistant packaging for all hemp edibles.
In our Spotlight on Business report tonight, it's a gamble Atlantic City is willing to make, creating a new tourism economy around cannabis. The state's Casino City is opening 2 medical cannabis dispensaries and 2 consumption lounges later this year. Those cannabis lounges, an effort to attract people to the tourist city for a whole new experience. And as Raven Santana reports, the industry will also focus on giving back to Atlantic City, a community that's been harmed by the war on drugs.
How would you define cannabis hospitality and tourism?
You no longer need to be a regular at a casino to be considered a high roller. That's because Atlantic City will be home to 2 medical dispensaries and 2 consumption lounges this summer. Rob Mejia, who is a teaching specialist in cannabis studies at Stockton University, served as a moderator for a webinar focused on turning Atlantic City into a cannabis tourism destination.
So 2 of the biggest dispensaries and biggest consumption lounges in the state of New Jersey are going to be right in Atlantic City. So there is one company called Agricon, and they are remodeling the Claridge Hotel. The Claridge Hotel is roughly 10,000 square feet. So you're going to have a 10,000 square foot dispensary, and then you'll have a consumption lounge upstairs that's about the same size. That is a lot of space. And then you also have right across from the Hard Rock, you'll have a facility called Endo. It'll be run by Faye Coleman. And she has a 4,000 square foot dispensary, and she'll have a 4,000 square foot consumption lounge upstairs that is a combination of an indoor and an outdoor facility. In both cases, private parties can rent those areas.
I think today everyone has a better idea and understanding in terms of what cannabis can bring, not just to tourism, but to patients. As we see it medically as something of need from a medicinal standpoint for our patients and consumers. But sometimes we just have consumers that just want to have a good experience.
Faye Coleman is owner of Endo, one of 2 of those dispensaries and consumption lounges anticipated to open this summer.
So we will absolutely be looking to hire locally, and we will also be hiring through reentry programs. 30% of our jobs will come through reentry programs. So it's important that we just not reach back to just within the community, those who are surrounding us, but all of us who have been involved in the cannabis industry in some way, whether positive or negative, because we need to bring everybody forward successfully.
It's the travel industry, the hotels, the attractions, airports, rental car companies, the entire visitor economy, understanding what cannabis is today, which is it's rapidly innovating and evolving, as well as the cannabis stakeholders understanding what it means to be an attraction and an experience for visitors to a destination, which is a different lens that goes above and beyond a transaction.
Brian Applegarth is the founder of the Cannabis Travel Association International, which promotes the development of safe and responsible cannabis tourism.
And for those that don't know what this is, it's really kind of righting the wrongs from the war on drugs and those marginalized communities that were negatively impacted and targeted and oftentimes incarcerated when cannabis was illegal.
We will be the East Coast hub of cannabis. We have been champions for lounges since the day it's been legal.
Atlantic City's Kashawn McKinley is Director of Constituent Services and Special Projects for the city. McKinley says despite originally receiving pushback from some city leaders about the future of cannabis tourism, he says cannabis education and a vision sealed the deal.
We want you to purchase your cannabis here. We want you to consume it here. We want you to check out a festival here, a convention here, go to one of our state-of-the-art facilities here, knowing we're a unique town. We have 17,000 rooms. 98% and 95% of those rooms are in the casino, so they're federally regulated. So where would the people be able to smoke it? They can't smoke outdoors and they can't smoke in the casino. So we want to make sure that our consumption lounges are safe, they are friendly, and they are state-of-the-art lounges that people can enjoy cannabis in Atlantic City.
The 2 dispensaries and consumption lounges are only the beginning of this grand vision. They expect to see more marijuana-based businesses applying for licenses as Atlantic City rolls the dice yet again to attract new visitors. For NJ Spotlight News, I'm Regan Santana.
Support for the Business Report provided by the Chamber of Commerce, Southern New Jersey, working for economic prosperity by uniting business and community leaders for 150 years. Membership and event information online at chambersnj.com.